Hello! In this hopefully short video, I will explain more details about how to write your final project for this class. You'll receive topics closer to the end of the semester. The first stage is to work in Google Docs because I want to see your progress. Thus, I'm going to Google Docs and I create a new file. I already created one. You have your chosen topic and I wrote here final paper, the class, the time and day, and the topic. I chose the topic Pet Ownership Insights, a data-driven exploration of cat and dogs ownership trends by me. So I wrote it down and now I don't know what to do. Go to the file we send you that has all the details. So the details, I decide to copy and paste them here. This is grading, so that's very convenient because at the end I can check if I earned all the points before submitting it for grading. First it says create an editable, shareable link to your Google file where I can see your writing progress. Okay, I can do that. I know that. You go here, you click share, you can name it, and then you go restricted, click everyone with the link, and then viewer is not enough. You click editor, copy the link, and then put it somewhere on the very top so I can click it right away. You see it says edit over here. This is how I know that it is a correct file. When I click on it, I will have access to this document and I will see the history of you writing it. And that's how I know that you actually worked hard on this document. And also it's interesting to see the progress. Now I still don't know how to continue, so I will go to the next step. Next step says understanding the topic, target, goal, whatever we told you to choose. The topic, in my case, my choice was cats and dogs. So I'll write down what I understand about it, summarize the issue, description. To do that, I need to read about it a lot. So I'm kind of stuck with this step, and I do think I will start with a data science life cycle approach. I need to go through all the 7 data science life cycle steps. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go and copy them. Here they are. I just put them here. And now what I plan to do is to write down right below each step. Blah, 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 blah. And that will already create quite like 2 pages for sure of writing stuff. Okay, maybe I'm not very good at understanding all of those steps. I guess business understanding is a clear step. I want to figure out what I'm doing with my cats and dogs. And in this case, I want to write down here something like this project wants to check the comprehensive data sets comparing cats and dogs ownership, in various locations. Maybe it depends on some trends and patterns and insights like the income or different states in the country or different, maybe by gender and so on. And I will write it down here. So that's going to be my business understanding. My business understanding also should mention where to collect data, how to collect, and so on. If you're not sure of what to write in each of the steps, maybe go check the definition of each step, which I conveniently put here for you. Here you go. I just randomly found those definitions. There are more definitions if you want, but you follow these specific 7 steps for our class, because different classes have different number of steps and different order. But at least definitions are correct. Business understanding, establish the objective. Okay, for me it's cats and dogs. Project constraints. That's a good point. What are the constraints? I guess I will only stick to United States and pets ownership. Key questions. I want to figure out some comparison of why people have more dogs or more cats and what are the trends behind them, what the choice they make, maybe some location matters or so on. Data mining. Locate and extract relevant data from the internal database, external blah, 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 raw files. I don't need you to do data mining for this project. I just need you to find those who already found the data. So go search the data. We already gave you one website, which you can use, and then maybe you find more data on the topic you need. Now, clean the data, and I will explain how will I be cleaning my cats and dogs data. Maybe they will be names of, I would not say names, I guess, but number of people owning cats and dogs in California versus in Texas. And maybe I will order them. Maybe I will figure out some duplicates. Maybe there will be gaps in data, and I will discuss in this place why. And everything I'm saying here, I'm just typing it here. It's like gaps in data due to incomplete, I'll check the grammar later, that's fine. To incomplete feedbacks or reports, blah blah blah. You know, maybe many people don't take their cats and dogs to the vets, so how do we even know they own them, and so on. Maybe they're not even chipped, so we don't know how many cats there are in the specific city or little area. Continue with all of these steps. I think the hardest step for people to understand is feature engineering. So I put more definitions here. Transform raw data into informative features through encoding, scaling, aggregation, domain-specific logic. In short, feature engineering is the art and science of transforming raw data into powerful signals that will help machine learning models learn better and make more accurate predictions. So it prepares data for this, for the predictive modeling where you train your machine for machine learning and predictions. So, right, what should you do with your data, in my case, cats and dogs, to create powerful insight, to transform the data in powerful insight, to help machine learning only work on those needed insights. I don't want to machine. Tommy, my cat is meowing. Not right now, thank you. Keep doing your thing. And I want machine not to learn on everything. That's too much. There's too much information. I don't want to work on I don't know, what those people who own cats, what kind of grades they have at school. I don't think that's relevant. So I will only transform the data to whatever is informative, the features that I need. But before that, as you can see, I can analyze patterns and anomalies and so on. Then I don't need you to actually do the modeling, predictive modeling in this class, but mention which models will work and what would they do. So go research what kind of machine learning models they are and which one you can use for your model. And finally, the easiest one is results data visualization. That's what we create to show, those who will fund our research. So stakeholders, for example, present model outcomes clearly and using graph and so on. So I will be doing all of this. Results. They shown that income matters when choose, for example, cats versus dogs. Maybe we'll figure out that location matters. And for example, Tempe, Arizona has more street, or basically stray cats. So people might be able to just pick them up versus in other places there are less street cats. So maybe people there have more dogs instead, because if people already have too many cats, they will not get a dog. Result. So that's what I would do. I would just start filling in these things here, and that's how I know I did not miss anything. Okay, so I'm done with those steps. What else was in the project? The other part was figure out the ethical implications. Who get harmed and what happens if we don't finish this project? So ethics or ethical implications, harms versus benefits. And I will explain that in my case, I would like to figure out if cats and dogs being treated fairly, and do we have too many stray animals and cats are killing birds if they are a stray cat, and maybe we need to figure out how to help with the colonies that are developing in Tempe and so on. So I will talk about that. And then I feel like I'm good, right? Don't forget to go back and do a nice intro, because it also says make sure you have an intro. And now when I'm done, I will go through the points again and see what is not there. Okay, 5 points. It says edible share link. Done. I'll put like exclamation marks. Done. Check mark. Understanding the topic. I did not write this down yet, so I need to figure out how to write down a beautiful summarizing the issue, description and a target. What am I working on and why it's important? That's a lot of points, 20 points. Need to do that. So I'll finish that. Data science. Done. All 7 steps I did explain. Ethical perspective. What perspectives? What's the goal? Who gets harmed? Done. I did good job. Use of graphs. I did not do that at all. And data sources. Use at least 3 graphs and 2 additional sources. So we already gave you one source. So you need to do additional 2 different sources. And graphs also have to be not just from the source we gave you. Don't forget not to steal them and properly cite them. Usually you cite right away if you use the graph and at the very end. So fine, I'll take my topic and I go search online. So I Googled and I found this graph. Comparison of US pet ownership rates by year, and then small animals, horses. Some people you have horses, look at that. And then apparently the decline for dogs and cats is happening, but more dogs than cats, and per million, per ownerships, and so on. So graph number 1, and it's not like I'm just gonna put it at the end and leave it there. I need to use it somewhere. So I'm gonna copy it, and I'll decide where to use it. You can use it in the very end, like visuals, and then be part of the result, right? That's fine too, but you have to explain. So you have to explain why this graph matters. Looking at the graph below, we can now understand that blah blah blah. Here you go. Here's the graph. Don't forget to put the link below. The link below to explain, to mention where did you get it from. So it's all legal. Then I found another graph because we need more than that. I also found some data. So go look for the data. Again, you don't need to mine the data. Find the sources that already mine data for you. And you're like, oh wow, look at that. Research found, and what is APPA? That is AmericanPetProducts.org. Here's the link. Apparently, 21% of cats owners hosted a holiday or birthday party for their cats in the last year, which is a very big increase since before. So now it's like a trend to have cat-themed merchandise and birthdays and so on. So that's a cool data. Again, where should I put it? Also, I cannot just copy-paste it. That's stealing. I need to rephrase it with my own wording. So that's because it's my project. So I'm working on it by myself. That is pretty cool. This actually looks like patterns. So I would go and I would put it here somewhere with patterns, data exploration maybe, or feature engineering, like what is important. I would put it somewhere here to say, oh, data actually is showing already some patterns. Now, I found another graph. This one, very beautiful. A quarter of US cats pick their owners. It's funny that cats tend to pick owners from the streets. You see, that's why I assume location matters. So Tempe is not the same as Scottsdale, for example. Like Tempe has more stray cats. In Arizona, that's why there's more probability that cats will be on the street asking you to pick them up. So, but dogs are mostly coming from friends and people that you know. Shelters, 90%, 25% for dogs and cats. So again, I will put this, but where do you want to put it? Do you want to put it as visuals at the end? Or maybe to support some of the things I'm talking about here. Maybe like I was talking about patterns, so feature engineering. I can put it here. Don't forget the link of where did you get it from. And I will explain, looking at this graph, seems like location matters. So location matters. Maybe even age and group matters too, because who has so many friends and acquaintances with pets originally? Maybe more grown-up people have them than younger people. So that's also interesting. But also look at other pets. They're mostly coming from pet shop. Thus, number of pet shop matters. Number of pet shops matters, you know? And I will explain why this is important and what it means and blah, blah, blah. And then I'll go to other steps, for example. But that's up to you. Okay, it seems like I'm very satisfied. But then I noticed that they wanted 3 graphs, if you remember. So I found another graph, and I'm going to put it somewhere too, and so on. This is by age. Look at that. Millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, and baby boomer pet ownership. Seems like it's pretty equally distributed, which is pretty cool. But millennials have mostly more cats than others. Hey, yay. Now, I'm going to go to the check marks. So now I will check what else is missing. So I have graphs. I have 3 graphs, 2 additional resources. Yay, I did that. That gave me just 20 points. How about that? And I need to use them, so not just copy paste for beautiful paper. Writing quality and organization. Okay, I will proofread everything and try to fix those grammar mistakes I just made, right? If you use any program like Grammarly, that might increase your AI percentage, so be careful with that. Talking about AI percentage, after you finish everything, you're gonna put all of this in ChatGPT 0 and check for AI to make sure it's less than allowed percentage for the semester. Did I write enough? It says 3-page paper, but graphs and graphs and intro does not count towards 3 pages. So whatever I have right now is not enough. Like, this is not a page. This is an empty page with my name on it. That doesn't count. Graphs definitely took way too much space. So if I want to really check, I would take all my text and copy paste it into different file to see how many pages it takes now. And also make sure that you made them 12, which was not the case. Oh yeah, now it increased in size, so it's kind of nice. This one too. I will increase everything to 12 font and double space. Very nice. Now, you can use Arial or Time New Romans is kind of the most popular for the papers. Did I finish? So I checked, I proofread it, it looks nice, quality organization. I have that, points. Don't forget the sources at the end. That's part of the organization of the paper. I want references at the end so that I did not steal the information. So at the end, blah, 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 I did put references. Link. Okay, where did I get my data? Data source is, this is the link. Another data source. Data source just for states, you know, by states. And then this one maybe was for animal shelters. This one maybe WHO organization, you know, or PETA, yeah. PETA organization. So put links here and or proper citation if we require that. With like a year of the paper, if there was a paper you used, put it here too, with a name and publication and stuff, if we require that. If not, links are fine. Now, I think I'm done. Feels like I have full credit, but I'm still not sure. Is it enough to submit or not? So I gave you a rubric for that, to make sure you have full credit and not just mediocre credit. Let's look quickly through the rubrics. You're welcome. Shareable link, check. I have it on the very top. Now here you go. Understanding your topic and target. Am I exceeding expectations? A comprehensive and insightful summary of the target's goal and topic I chose? Demonstrating deep understanding of the relevance and implications. Yeah, they not really explain why it matters to check who owns more cats and dogs. I need to figure out how to explain it better, why it's relevant, and what are the implications of that. Maybe my data project will help some companies, food companies, will be more trendy and stuff. So I can write about that. If it just meet expectations, that's not good enough, and it's below expectations, and you don't really understand, like limited understanding of the relevance, why you're even doing this project, then you will receive just 10 points out of 20. Next, data science lifecycle. Okay, we followed the book, very good, of this class. We identified each specific step. We did not merge them. That is good. Thorough and innovative applications of all 7 steps with clear connections to the chosen topic. You don't just say step 5, data mining. Step 6, what is data mining? Which one? Why are you doing that? Explain it to the chosen topic. If you did not do that, if you skip some steps or you just weak application of those steps, you did not really connect it to the topic, then you will lose points. This is a heavy part, it's 50 points. Now, number them, highlight the steps, then it's easier for me to read and grade. Ethical implications. Oh my goodness, did I forget about ethical implications? Go and write it down. And also, did I write a lot? Exceeds expectations, detailed and nuanced analysis of ethical implications, identifying who is harmed most and why. Which animals will get harmed if they are left on the streets, or if you don't take them to the vet, and so on and so on. So I will write this down, don't forget. And finally, the quality. The quality, did I organize it nice, fix the grammar? The idea is good, very good. Is there anything else? And graphs, of course. Full marks will receive if you have skillful use of 3 graphs, not just copy paste them to have pretty place to be there. I need to see that you know how to use graph when you write your paper report. 2 additional reports, cited, and they effectively support defining. Again, not just random stuff. Make sure your graph explains your work. Good? Anything else? Not really. So if all of this is good, I'm ready to submit. Before submitting, you will again, at the very end, with your citations, check ChatGPT 0 for the AI percentage, make sure it's low. If it's not low, rewrite something. Don't put too many quotes so it doesn't find AI there. Then you upload to Canvas and check for the plagiarism through the app we have there. Make sure it's good too. And finally, I wanted to show you, this is the example of me checking your link. When I click this link that you shared with me at the very top, it takes me to your paper, and Anna was kind enough to allow me to share her example, and I see how she was writing. You see, I can see what she did on November 25 at 5:06 p.m., 5:07 p.m., and then she started at 4 p.m., and I can click at 4 p.m. and it shows how she begins to write, and at every click I see which sentence she's writing or deleting, and that is the biggest proof that you wrote it yourself. So if we ever suspect that you copied from somewhere or not, this is your major proof that you were writing it yourself, because the moment you even decided to delete this, it will be recorded, and I can see you deleting it, rewriting it again, deleting it again, editing something later. I will see all of this, and that makes it very clear that you worked hard on this project and you deserve your points. I hope that was helpful and you actually finished watching this. Good luck with the work. Hopefully you all get full credit. Good job for working hard, and I will wish you a good break.